All right, let's move ahead on this. File that under worst idea ever. How they look when complete. That's two pieces of 10 gauge channel spanned across the lower channel of the miller, and gave me a good attachment point and keeps those channels from trying to roll in on me. And those are a 350-pound urethane wheel ball bearing, ball swivels and ball bearings in the wheels. So that's a good size caster for the front. All right, but that's the front. Next up is the back. All righty. So there you have it. Syncrowave down on its wheels. I still need to make the little stand out the back to hold the bottle, but it can roll around the shop now with ease. You know, that rolls around really good, and I'm plenty happy with that. So, all right. So I've got a piece of 10 gauge here I'm going to plasma cut out, and you can see where I've done my Sharpie marks on here. And this is a break point, and this is a cut line across the back, cut and then tapered off here. And what we're making is this portion from here to here is what cantilevers into the machine, and it'll get bolted in here. My wheels are actually right here. This tapered section here gives me a 1-inch lip. This is going to be a trough notch, and then it'll get put on the brake and lifts it up, and from here to here will all be hanging out the back of the machine. Very similar to what they're doing on the Miller-Matic there. Very similar to that. I'll have a 1-inch lip, and you can see kind of the tapered side that has. So that's I'm kind of copying that one. So I'm setting up to do a little manual plasma work. Hang on guys, we're all moving together. That might be a better camera angle, what do you think? There we have it. Now we gotta do stick it on the brake. Brake on 3 sides, clean up the edges, weld the corners, drill a few holes. Maybe slap some paint on it. Okay, and we got it all polished up. And as you can see, we got some layout lines. I got my magnum in the corners. So that's it's all laid out and ready to bend. And this is 10 gauge, which is about almost 1/8 of an inch. It's just a shade over, it's just a few thousandths over 1/8 of an inch. So that's the reason for the back plate. Anyways, just to recap, we're running straight here to this line, and then we break and come down, taper it down to 1 inch. This is what's going to overlap in the welder. From here to here is what's going to cantilever out the back. That is 12 inches, the same as my other welder. So, and a bottle is 10 inch. So it's got room to rattle around on there. All right, so let's go over the brake and see if we can get a couple of gorillas to help us bend this. Okay, so we're going to give this a shot and see if we can bend, I don't know, what is a 20-inch piece, 20-inch piece of 1/8 inch in this little pan brake. See if we can get her there. Now what I've done to prepare, I've moved my die back, so my die face is backed up 1/8 of an inch beyond the actual apron brake. And I've lifted the die here and here so I don't have as much squeeze pressure on it. I don't want to take a chance of bending my fingers, these being fingers, I'm not talking about these. So we're going to try it there, and I got it set so I get a little bit of a radius. And just put my line right on that apron brake. And I'm not getting a heck of a lot of squeeze there. Let's try this. Anybody know a good chiropractor? All right, here we go. Well, I'm not flipping the machine over. Close. Knew I should have bolted it down. And I think I'm about 90 there. We can bop it around a little bit when we get it on the bench. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely overbent. Again, this time we're putting it in deep. Because we're bending the opposite way. There. Okay, let's see how that does. Our next bit isn't that much. It's only 19 inches. It's 20, so it's an inch less. So that'll be much easier. All right, here we go again. Hey, we did pretty good. So that's our second one. You can see we're getting a nice, nice radius in there. Try to aim that with the camera there. You can look straight down that bend. All right, last but not least, we're gonna have to take some fingers out. I think if we take out here and here and spread these out a little bit, we should be good with just this center section. So let's do that. Out of here. And out of here. And let's see, do I want to spread those? No. Yeah, I think I do. And you always want to watch your little fingers, your skinny ones. These bend the easiest. What I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to move my big fat daddy out here to the edge. I'm going to slide this little pipsqueak in between and let it help share the load a little bit. So that's going to be the setup. Okay, so we can get under this thing again. Oh, there's my air compressor. Another country heard from. Okay, that looks pretty good. And there's our back portion of the deck. Just got to weld the corners here and here, and the rest of it will slip into the welder. I should be, my welder base is 19 inches outside to outside, and yeah, I'm about 19 1/8 inside here. So this should slip right over those channels, overlap this much, get a couple bolts here, a couple bolts here. The axle goes through the whole thing. Cantilevers out the back. But that's my new welder deck. All right. Here we are, pretty much on a final. We got a little Krylon on it, actually some Rust-Oleum, and you can see how my new bracket came up to this point here, and we're bolted here. I left one wheel off to show you what I had to do. I had some poorly placed holes. I just mapped it out in nice even numbers, and I ended up having to countersink this because the wheel hub actually hits right there. That little raised spot on the wheel actually hits there. So I had to countersink those and drop that in. So we got 2 bolts on there, and then down below we got a couple more going up into the bottom of the channel on both sides. So they're pinned at 8 points for this deck out the back. But that takes care of this. I'm going to throw that other wheel on, let this, you guys called it a Miller Pinata. So I'm going to put the Pinata back down on the ground and take one final look, throw the bottle on, and see how she rolls around. Okay, well here we are at the end of this thing. We finally got a bottle on this little deck out here and back. And I got it chained up, made a couple little tabs to go onto the factory bolts. And a quick release over there. And as far as the cord goes, I make these. Some of you guys know I used to have horses, and anyone that says horseshoes have no purpose, never made one of these. I actually thought about selling them because every time I made one, I'd see another welder and he'd go, "Oh, that's so cool," and it's just a piece of flat bar with a horseshoe welded to it. If most horses, they have to arc the shoes about like that. Most of the high plains horses and the Mustangs and the Appaloosas have got about that shape. So very little fitting, drops right on your bottle, roll up your extension cord right there. Anyways, rear deck done, on the wheels. Oh, I made a chingus for the front. Just something that bolts onto a couple of bolt holes that were there. And it's got a little crook on the end, and I can put my ground on one side and my torch lead on the other side. And I made a little torch holder, magnetic chingus. So that's fun. Somebody stop me. I can't stop accessorizing this thing. But this doubles as a pull handle. So this will pull us around and get it around when I do have to take it out to job sites. And I've got a place to put my ground and my torch and my power cord on my horseshoe. And my bottle gets around with it. All right, but this thing can finally go back in its hole where it belongs. Just spent a few hours doing this here this morning. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Just thought I'd show you how I built my welding cart. See ya.